I know it's perfectly possible to have ended up with incredibly negative views of asylum seekers and refugees if all you've done is consume a diet of red-top right-wing British media and, indeed, sadly, vote leave government for the last few years. Farage, I guess, is another one of his legacies. But Priti Patel, even by her own standards, has embarked upon a project of almost unbelievable stupidity, because the proposals, as I understand them, involve telling other countries that already shoulder much more of the international refugee burden than we do, that they have, and I quote, I heard a big interview this morning, they have a moral duty to take or to take refugees who've managed to get to the UK, where we shoulder a much smaller burden of our international responsibilities than the other countries do. So this is going to be a wonderful piece of diplomacy. No wonder she liked to conduct her conversations with the Israeli government in secret, because hopefully this one's going to play out in public. She's going to have to march into Berlin, where, of course, 1 million Syrian refugees have been rehoused in the last few years. She's going to have to march into Berlin and say, we hardly take anyone. We took 30,000 last year. You took 110,000. I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but they're pretty close to the figures. Our per capita performance is even more humiliating and embarrassing. But Priti Patel is claiming that she's going to march into these countries and tell them that they have to take people who have managed to make their way to the United Kingdom because, they speak English or they have family here already, or whatever the reason may be. They've just chosen to come here instead of all the other countries in Europe that already do much more than we do to shelter and to house refugees. So that's going to be a thing of beauty, isn't it? We are here to break the Geneva Convention and lecture you, a country that takes in way more refugees than we do, on your moral duty to take in the refugees that have got to the UK. The Sun and the Mail are already cheering it from the rafters, which is fantastic. And exactly what this policy is designed to do, to curry favour from the furiously hard of thinking. Whether it will work or not at the moment, I don't think it's that big a deal, because since Brexit, the public's obsessions with immigration have gone off a cliff, because you don't open your newspaper or turn on your radio every day to hear people grooming you to hate all foreigners. Mission accomplished in 2016. They don't need to do that anymore. I don't know, even by the standards of Brexit Britain, this is an astonishing situation. I mean, the interview I heard unfolded elsewhere, but I am keen to play it to you because it's incredible, really, that the 1951 UN-sponsored Geneva Convention sets out the rights of refugees and the responsibilities of nations in granting asylum. Here it is, okay? The contracting states shall not impose penalties on account of their illegal entry or presence on refugees who come indirectly from a territory where life or freedom was threatened. That's the Geneva Convention. That is the polar opposite of what Priti Patel is proposing. She is literally proposing that we impose penalties on account of illegal entry or presence on refugees who've come indirectly from a territory where life or freedom was threatened. That weird British experience of the last few years of seeing ignorance that was once confined to the comments section on the Mail Online website now coming out of the mouths of cabinet ministers.